Hi, thanks for watching. This is Mel from Mel's Trades. In our last video, I discussed goals, vision boards, business plans, and just talked about what do you want to accomplish from selling online. Are you looking to make some extra money? Or are you looking to turn this into a business? In this video, I want to talk to you about what types of things you can sell online and just give you an idea before you even start to sell of what direction do you want to take your business to. I'm going to just give you some examples. There's people that do not have a business license that sell on eBay or Amazon as a merchant fulfilled seller, and they sell used items that they mainly thrift from local thrift stores and Goodwills. These types of sellers can make a great living or great side money without necessarily having to report it to the government. If you do use PayPal as a payment processor with eBay at the $20,000 per year mark and 250 sales per year, they will automatically issue you a 1099-K, which will need to be reported to the government. So, like I said before in another video, the last video, even a dollar profit should be reported to the IRS, but please consult with your tax attorney on that if you have one, just to let you know. But so let's get back to what can we sell online? Where do we want to take this? There are the thrifters that I talked about, which you'll find many people that are in this business do not want to take it to the next level, so they never get a business license. So they mainly are thrifting items, used items. You can get new items from thrift stores as well. So they're thrifting items and reselling it for the purpose of profit, right? So that is one option, and the other option is to sell new items. I'm not going to go deep into depth because we are talking about beginning sellers here that don't know what they're doing. So I'm just going to be pretty vague about this. So there's the thrifters. Do I want to thrift my items? You have to have a source of where you're going to get your items from. One thing that I recommend doing is, like I said, with your goals and your researching, the first couple weeks I would recommend during the researching process to sell items from your home, just to give you an idea of what you're going to go through when an item sells. You do not want to just put up a bunch of items full force and then not know how to ship them out, because you could end up risking your seller account. Many of these platforms have rules and regulations and policies, and if you end up crossing them or breaking their rules, they can restrict your account, which is usually a permanent thing. And that's not something you want to do just starting out, because your business is going to be very short-lived if you don't follow the regulations. So I would highly recommend looking for items that you already have at home, and I will in another video show you how to research these items online so that you can find out what would be my potential profit, how much money can I make off this. The way I look at it is, if you're selling something from your home, like if you have a garage sale, usually you're going to end up making more money selling it online than you would in a garage sale, depending on the item. But if you're doing it for research purposes only, just to figure out, how do I sell, how do I ship, how do I get through all this, you're not risking something of high value, or if it's just something you have laying around the house, you're not going out. One of the biggest mistakes that I've seen other sellers do that are new in this business is going out and buying a bunch of stuff, not researching, not knowing whether it's going to make money or not. They just buy and buy and buy. And honestly, I don't care if you get that item for 50 cents or $5. If you're buying something that's not going to sell, that's going to sit for 3 years in your closet or in your storage or wherever you're storing your inventory items, you're wasting your money. You're hoarding and you're throwing things away. You're wasting your money. Please do not do that. Do not, if you plan on being a thrifter and buying and reselling, or a reseller, do not go out and buy things before you learn the ropes, because you're going to end up wasting money and having things that you might have to redonate. And I think all of us resellers or online sellers at some point have done this. We bought something that it may have had a flaw that we missed, or the value may have gone down by the time it sells or whatnot, and we end up losing money. That's just part of business. You are going to lose money at some point on some items, no matter what. That's just part of the business. But you don't want to go in at the very beginning and just buy and not know what you're doing. Please do not do that. So, if you want to thrift, like I said, just have that in the back of your mind. This is what I want to do. Like we talked about in the last video, the goals. So if your goal is, I want to thrift, find things from the thrift store, find items from the thrift store and resell them. This is what I want to do. I want to be a picker, a reseller, or whatnot. So have that goal in your mind and start by listing things from your home to give you a practice, a trial run on how things are going to go. If you have a bigger picture in mind, I hate thrift stores. I don't want to be in a thrift store. They stink. They smell like I feel itchy. I know there's some people, they just can't stand to be in a thrift store, honestly. They're like OCD. They just like, no, I'm not having that. If that's what online selling is, that's not for me. So there are other options. You do not have to be a thrifter or a picker or a reseller. If you obtain a business license, you can contact, this really depends on what is your capital. What amount of money do you have to start with? If you're somebody starting with nothing, it's not to say that you can't do it this way. A lot of people do start with thrifting because the price per item is so low that they can start with a small budget or barely having a budget. They can still start and slowly build it up. And I myself, I did start out thrifting and then went into buying wholesale, and I did obtain my business license right away. And that's another pitfall. I don't know if I'll go into that in this video, but you might not have the minimum requirement that a wholesaler, usually when you buy wholesale, and you have a business license, which you will need a business license to buy wholesale. And the other thing is, people will say, well, where do I find my sources? Where do I find these people? Well, that's something that nobody's going to tell you. Like, maybe a relative would tell you and share that information, or a spouse or something. But other than that, people are not going to share their sources, because if they do share their sources, they are creating competition for themselves. And that's the main reason. Another reason they may not share their source is because some of the companies will actually have them sign contracts that will not allow them to reveal the source of who they're getting their product from. So in that case, some of them do and some of them don't. And if they don't, people just don't want to share their source because they don't want to create unwanted competition. For me, it took me like 2 years to come up with a solid list of suppliers, and as we speak, I'm still in preparation to look into a whole nother aspect of selling online. But it takes a while, and you want to keep on good terms with your suppliers, because with thrifting you can go to a different thrift store. With buying wholesale, it takes a while to form good contacts, and you don't want to lose those contacts. So you just want to make sure you follow their rules, and you might not know where to begin to find them, but you're going to have to research that. You're going to have to just research and research and research, and until you do find some, you will find them. It's if nobody's telling you here they are, that might be a harder route for you to go to find suppliers. And a lot of times when you're searching, you will come across middlemen, people that actually buy directly from the company, and then they're selling you secondhand of what, like they'll buy a truckload of stuff, and then it's called cherry picking. They'll cherry pick that truckload. They'll take out the best items, and then the crap that's left over, they'll try to sell you, and you pay a couple grand for the crap, and then you get it to your house or your warehouse or your office or wherever you're working out of, and you're like, what the hell did I just buy? You know, I'm not going to say that I haven't gone through that, because I've been through that myself, and it sucks. It sucks if you pay a couple thousand for a shipment, and then all of a sudden you get it home and you realize, like, I signed contracts to buy this stuff. I can't return it. It's not like going to the store and you can return it. It doesn't work like that. Not when you're buying closeouts or overstock or clearance or whatnot. It really depends, but most of the time you can also buy wholesale from, if you're talking about clothing, you can buy like wholesale from the designers and stuff, and I think if there's a flaw or something, they'll let you return it, but otherwise you're really stuck with whatever you buy, and there are the minimum order requirements, so you're talking hundreds or thousands of dollars. So you really want to research again before you do any of that. That's why I'd recommend writing down your goals. Do I want to be a picker, a reseller, a thrifter, or do I want to get a business license and buy wholesale and sell retail, or do I want to buy liquidations? Do I want to buy overstock? What do I want to do? So those are some of your options. And yeah, I will elaborate on that more in an upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.